treat us like this,
I feel like I'm losing my
couldn't ask for anything more.
Golden Cooked presents The Night El Paso Stopped Breathing, a rare report from the Arirang stage. That night, El Paso seemed to hold its own pulse. The usually warm desert winds gave way to a chilly current that carried hints of something big, something that would transform Sun Bowl Stadium into the center of the world. Dark skies shrouded the city in an unusual silence, the silence before a storm. Thousands of eyes stared at the massive stage that stood still like a gateway to another dimension. This wasn't just a concert. This was the beginning of a new legend. Arirang, Day 1. Inside the stadium, the atmosphere felt as dense as the air before a major earthquake. Armies from various countries pressed close together, pooling their energy like oceans moving together. There was no light-hearted laughter, no idle chatter, only hearts pounding, waiting for that first moment. Anyone who was there could agree. The tension that night felt like a magnet holding the entire city to one point. Then, in a split second that felt like an eternity, the world shattered. The first thump of bass shook the ground beneath everyone's feet. It was as if a red bolt of lightning had been dragged from the sky down directly onto the stage, slashing through the darkness and lighting up the horizon with a burst of light so intense it stunned everyone. Flames shot high, dancing like newly awakened golden dragons. Fireworks erupted in torrents, showering the sky in purple, red, and gold hues that blended together like a cosmic painting. The visuals on the giant LED screens weren't just graphics, but otherworldly, an ambition that stretched without limits. And amidst the roar, a sea of purple light sticks waved in unison, moving in time with the music that hadn't yet fully begun. The Sun Bowl wasn't a stadium anymore. That night, it was a spinning galaxy. But as the splendor reached its peak, anxious whispers began to circulate on social media. Reports of people attempting to invade the members' private spaces alarmed some ARMY. But remarkably, ARMY responded with solidarity. They created threads to remind each other of manners, the limits of privacy, and the importance of maintaining safety. Mature love, protective love, that's BTS's greatest fortress. Then, all the din fell silent as a single voice emerged amidst the roar. Jungkook. His voice entered softly, yet it cut through the crowd like the first light of morning. When he took the main stage, the world seemed to focus on just one man. Jungkook appeared like a shadow carved from light and darkness, wearing a shimmering black suit that reflected every ray of light like an invisible crown. He wasn't just an idol, he looked like a mythological figure given tangible form. As he sang the latest song from his album, 2026, the crowd erupted in a chorus so loud that some fans claimed they could no longer hear his vocals. But that was the beautiful paradox of the night. Even as his voice was drowned out by millions of screams, Jungkook's aura only shone brighter. And when Hooligan rang out, everyone knew they were in the throes of history. Jungkook moved slowly to the edge of the stage, kneeling under the purple light that poured onto his face, as if the entire universe had turned the spotlight on him. His visuals that night were incredible. No HD camera, no filter, no editing could fully capture how he looked in real life. Dashing, gentle, mature, deadly. A perfect combination that left anyone who saw them speechless. Then RM followed, walking side by side with Jungkook. Two figures, two contrasting yet complementary energies, the wise leader and the brightest shining star. They strode down the long runway, so close to the front row that fans could see every detail of their expressions, the slight frowns as they smiled, the tears in their eyes, and the way they encouraged each other without needing words. The stadium erupted once again as fireworks exploded right at the climax of the next song. Stage smoke, strobe lights, sharp choreography, all combined to create the illusion of time standing still. ARMY waved nonstop, creating a light display like a living aurora. And while many had come to see Jungkook, each member shone in their own way. RM conveyed a sense of security, comfort, and sincerity that had the front row repeatedly clutching their chests, fighting back tears. The small interactions, the faintest smiles, the occasional wave, all felt personal and warm. The concert had only just begun, but the standard it set had already surpassed all expectations. El Paso had done what many cities feared they couldn't: give BTS a stage where they felt loved, not just adored. Fans left with tears in their eyes, not because they were sad, but because they felt they had witnessed the beginning of something bigger. Arirang wasn't just a world tour. It was a new chapter in BTS's history. And on that night, Jungkook was the center of gravity of the entire universe. El Paso will always be remembered as the night BTS didn't just perform, they came alive. The night the Sun Bowl burned with eternal energy, undying love, and Jungkook's voice echoing far beyond the stadium. This was just the first day, and GOLD and KOK TV was ready to follow their every step.